In the previous episode, Winston and I moved campsite from Harris to Lewis. We did have a little traction problem getting off our pitch, but we made it out. I then made a confession that at this point of the adventure, I was feeling a bit broken, depressed, and very tired. After pitching, I filled upon comfort food and spent the next day sleeping as we continue on our 64-day adventure. So today we're off to explore several stops on the Isle of Lewis. Now I'm still feeling quite down and I'm trying to pull myself out of my funk. I'm trying to just get on with it and to cheer up a bit because in all honesty, I am being a bit of a miserable sod. But things do get better in this episode, so please bear with me. Good morning! Is that going up? There we go. So as you can see, we are up and out today. It's currently about 9:30. We are at our first stop. Now the temperature outside is 4 degrees Celsius. Now if you've not been following along in this series, you might not know that the date is the 11th of June. So it is officially summer. However, nobody seems to have told the Outer Hebrides that it is summer and we're still facing these cold winter temperatures. Okay, so let's stop talking about the weather. We know that it's crappy and it's been crappy for a long time. So our first stop today is the Calanais Standing Stones and we are currently in the car park. Now this is probably the most popular tourist spot in the Outer Hebrides. And since I've been sat here recording this, about 4 cars have turned up. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's actually a coach. So there's actually 2 coaches here. And as I was driving down here, when I looked on the hill where you can see the stones, I just saw crowds of people. So I'm guessing they're all from the coaches. I'm hoping they're going to be done. They're going to get back on and they're going to leave soon because it did look very crowded up there. But this is the main Standing Stones, but I've also seen on the map that there's Standing Stones 2 and Standing Stones 3 all within this area. So we're going to go to the main one and then we're going to try and walk to the number 2 and number 3, which will hopefully be less touristy, and have a look at them. So, I don't want to go out in the cold. I think I'm going to put my waterproof jacket on as well, just for an extra layer. And yeah, I'll catch you out there. So our first attempt at seeing the Standing Stones was not a success. It was very busy, and for some reason all the people off the coaches kept trying to fuss Winston, which he didn't like. So we quickly escaped and headed off to Standing Stones number 2, but on the way over there I had to admit something to myself. How is it windy? I'm behind a hill. So as I was walking over here from the main standing stones, I was having a bit of a thought, and that is that I don't think I've been having a good time. I think I've been trying to have a good time whilst I've been here for the sake of the vlog. Now, don't get me wrong, there have probably been moments where I've genuinely enjoyed myself. But I think the overall kind of theme, or the overall feeling, is that I'm not having much fun. So I have been in the Outer Hebrides now for about 20 days, something like that, 21, 22 days. And although, yeah, the weather's probably played a big part in me not enjoying myself, I don't know, there's something missing. Yes, it's beautiful, or there is beautiful parts to it, and yes, there are some lovely things to see, but I can see lovely things and beautiful places on the mainland. Also, what I think affected this is that I have spent over on this trip, and that is just campsites and ferries. So that doesn't include diesel, it doesn't include the extra food I've bought in places like the smoked salmon, etc. It doesn't include laundry costs, it doesn't include the extra I've had to pay for showers. So by the time you add all that up, I'm probably well over. And I think that on the mainland, I could probably see things that are just as beautiful, just as interesting, and not spend that amount of money. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe would have things been different if I had nice weather and I could have spent more time in the water, at the sea, or outside, and not just spend the time wet and cold? Would it have been different? I don't know. But at the moment, my thought is that as soon as I get back to the mainland, I've got one campsite left. As soon as I get back to the mainland, I don't think I'm going to want to come back here. I don't know. I can't. It's not fun right now. Winston's having a good time, but he could have a good time anywhere. So, I don't know. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. I just want to get off the Outer Hebrides. I want to get back on the mainland. I'm just not having a good time. Although I'm trying to. But you know, sometimes when you feel like you're forcing it, it makes it worse. Yeah, kind of in that. But then at the same time, there's lots of stuff that I want to see in this area. And I don't just want to go back to my pod and sulk, because when I do get back to the mainland, a part of me will be like, oh, I should have saw that whilst I was there. So, we need to suck it up and we need to carry on. Not that way though, because that's through some mud. We'll go back that way. Right then, let's get on with this adventure. So we abandoned Standing Stones I, and we're now off to see Standing Stones II, which contains 7 thin stones, 2 of which have fallen, and they're arranged in the shape of an ellipse. After seeing them, I then wandered over to see Standing Stones III. Now apparently there's up to 10 Calanais Standing Stone sites, but of course everybody just goes to the main one because that is the biggest and the most impressive. Now at this third site, the stones are made up of 2 ellipses, one inside of the other. And it contains 13 stones, 5 of which have fallen. And Winston does help to give a good size comparison. So I know I'm not feeling very happy right now, but one more step along the world I go. That's all you're getting. I've just used my happiness quota now for the rest of the day. Oh. We then walked back to the van, at which point I decided that I didn't want to miss seeing the main standing stones, so I put Winston in the van and went to go and have a quick look at them on my own. And I'm glad I did. So these stones were erected 5,000 years ago, and they actually predate England's famous Stonehenge. Right, Winston isn't here, so let me give you an idea of scale. Now, we don't exactly know why the stones were erected, but at a guess it was for astronomical reasons, as authority was given to those that watch the skies. So for reference, I'm 5'7". The stones were also used as an important place of ritual activity for at least 2,000 years. Now they're placed in a cruciform pattern with a central circle stone. So here I'm walking down kind of the long part of it at the bottom of the cross. And then when we get to the centre, you'll see some stones go out one side and then the other. And then in the centre there is a circle with one big standing stone in the middle. Now just ignore my hands waving around, you can't hear what I'm saying on the footage anyway due to the wind. Looks like we timed that right because another coach has just pulled up. Everybody is disembarking and I'm escaping. Wiggly is on my side. He shouldn't be on my side, but I'll let him off. Nice. Can you go back on your side, please? Go on, move over. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I hope I get more resilience, grit, character, skills in perseverance, and I can't get this off while I'm talking to you guys. But I hope this does something for me. But let's go to number 2. Now, as I said earlier, this is probably the most popular tourist spot in the whole Outer Hebrides. So I'm hoping that that is the worst done now, and everything else that we go to, I'm just watching cars pull in now. I'm hoping that everything else we go to now is just going to be nice and quiet. But yeah, 2 coaches this morning and another coach has just pulled up now. So yeah, we need to get out of here. Well, I need to get out of here. Winston's just chilling. Oh, right, let's go. Okay, so we've just arrived and it is there. So it looks like it's going to be another dogs on leads situation. So rather than get him out, walk him up there, walk him back and put him in the van again, I'm just going to leave Winston in the van. I'll go up myself, have a quick look, a video, a photograph, and then we can crack on to the next stop because we're already very much behind schedule. It's 11:30. I wanted to be back at the pod by 1. That isn't going to happen. So let me just do this one on my own. Well, it's a good job we left him in the van. He's not allowed anyway. So he's down there. Now this stop is Dun Carloway Broch. Now if you remember, we have actually seen a broch in a previous episode. It was on the way to the ferry and we had to cross over those stepping stones in order to get to it. Now an interesting fact is that you can only find brochs in Scotland, and this one that I'm seeing here is one of the best preserved brochs, and it also shows an excellent cross section of the structure. So you can see 2 thick walls and a stone staircase between them. Stairs. Oh, my head. Wow. Gives away. Very low. Appears to be steps above. I like that, that's cool. Now upon leaving the broch, I did see a sign that said do not climb, and I'm not sure if going up the steps is classed as climbing, but I do apologise if I wasn't allowed to do that. Now last time I played this type of music, I got a few complaints because people didn't like it. Now firstly, I use all types of music in my vlogs, and secondly, I'm in Scotland, so you complaining about bagpipes is exactly the same as me complaining that it's raining. So this is what they imagined the inside to look like. That was cool, I like that. I think that's much better than the standing stones, but don't tell anybody because a lot of people don't come to see this one. Everyone goes to see the standing stones, but I think that was a lot more interesting. Now as the day went on, I did start to enjoy myself, and there's a few times where I almost smiled. I just have to be careful because I don't want to crack my face. Right, so the next stop, I can't work out if it's an actual tourist stop that you can go look at, or whether it's just like holiday lets, whether it's just accommodation that you can rent out or that you can rent for a couple of nights or whatever. So it's only 3 miles away, and it is technically on our way back. So let's go have a look. So we did go to the Black House village. They're basically derelict properties that have been restored using traditional methods to recreate an authentic settlement. Now, it does offer accommodation, but also historical activities. Now, sadly, when I arrived, the car park was full with many other cars trying to find somewhere to park, and also a coach had came in behind me. So I drove straight in and straight back out again. Now, as I'm editing this video, I am sad that I missed that stop, but I was just starting to enjoy myself and I didn't want to ruin it by taking on crowds. So we carried on to our third stop, which is Norse Mill and Kiln. So this one is a little bit more of a walk. So we've got the Wiggly with us. He's off lead up front, surveying the path, making sure it's safe for us to continue. He's also sniffing everything and peeing on everything. It's much nicer walking and being able to see a little wiggly bottom in front. So these are a pair of renovated thatched buildings that were used to process grain right up until the 1930s. Right, Winston, you wait. Wait. This is the mill that was powered by water from the stream. Now excuse me for a second because Winston did not wait. Get out. Thank you. You wait out there, please. Right, back to the mill. Now I think, although I could be wrong, I think that grain went in the top. I think this is called a feed hopper. It then passed through it and was ground up by the stones below it, and then went through a hole in the bottom where it was collected. Now I'm moving very slowly because my eyes are adjusting to the lack of light. The action camera is very good at filming in low light, but inside it's actually very dark and it's difficult for me to see. Good boy, Fuzzy. He's a good boy. I forgot your treats though. Your treats are in the van, so I'm very sorry. Alright, you wait there again. And this one is the kiln. So inside there is a circular stone lined pit, which is assumed to have contained the fire. The grain was then spread out around the room to dry and to prepare it for the milling. And Winston, again, did not wait. Out. Get out. I think it's because it's dark inside, and Winston doesn't like it when we're in an unfamiliar place and he can't see me. So when I go all the way inside, he loses sight of me, and then he comes to find me. Good boy. So these were a very cool stop. I'm glad we got to see these and have a look around them. But now we're going back to the van Winst. He's in protest because I told him to wait and he gets treats after he has been waiting. And I haven't got any treats with me because I left them in the van. So, come on. Come on, I'll get them out of the van for you. Come on. I'll get them out the van. You can have some when you get back. You are such a good boy, aren't you? Right, so we're going to head to the bakehouse. However, Google Maps is telling me that it is permanently closed. However, they have been active on their social media and it's 11 minutes away. So we're just going to go and have a look. Hopefully it's an error on Google and they are actually still trading because I want some cake. Do you guys like the driving footage or not? It's weird, but I really like watching it because I noticed stuff in the footage that I didn't actually notice when I was driving because I was too busy keeping my eyes on the road. So as I'm editing this driving footage, I sometimes find myself just sat there staring at it. Is that weird? so I think Google was right. There was no bakery open. I couldn't see signs of any bakery. I'm very disappointed about that. But on the way back, we're just going to tick off 2 more stops. And one of them is a traditional shielding, I think it is. So the road is there. I've just came in. The van is there. The shieling is there. It's just right there. It just looks like a really tiny building. Let me show you. So a shieling is a little hut in the moors that was used by families while they cared for their animals on seasonal pastures. I mean, it's bigger than my caravan. This one room has been accurately furnished to show what life was like. Now for me personally, I just love the thick solid walls and the stonework. I bet it doesn't shake in the wind like my caravan. Although, I bet you can't tow it either. We were then off to our final stop of the day. So this is Whalebone Arch, which does feel like you're trespassing in someone's garden. So in 1820, the body of an 80-foot-long blue whale appeared on the beach with a harpoon in its head. Now, no whaling company came to retrieve it, so the villagers dealt with it themselves. One guy decided to take a memento, and that was the lower jawbone. He thought it would make a good arch over his gateway. Now, the bones at the centre were too soft, so they were removed and they were shortened considerably until the harder bone was reached and formed this arch. It's 25 feet tall and it weighs 4 tons, and the harpoon is suspended in the middle. And it's recently been coated in a fiberglass resin to help preserve it. Anyway, we're back. I'm about to tidy up a little bit and have some lunch. And can I just say that tomato soup just hits differently when you've been outside all day in the cold and damp.